Coming to you from that once-forgotten artery that pulses through the center of the continental United States and into the heart of the Ozarks, Grace Matthews. Looking in from the northern border, our Canadian friend, along with his countrymen feeling the effects of U.S. political issues, Connor Murphy.
Welcome to Dueling Dialogues, episode 210. I'm Connor Murphy, here with Grace Matthews and the Hammer in Springfield, Missouri. Hi, you two.
Hey, what's going on?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, how's
we're getting spaced out, on the stay-at-home order.
I was just going to ask, how was isolation?
Oh, you know what? Isolation is just great, but, we're getting our heart rate down. We're doing meditation and yoga, and we're just way mellow. We're not even smoking any weed.
Every day Saturday.
Yeah, it does seem like that. You start to lose track of the days of the week, doesn't it? One day
blends. Yeah, that's what one of our kids said today.
Yeah, just one day blends into the other one. So
yeah, and we are never ever late for happy hour.
Yeah, isn't that something? And I'm here in the West, so people are, friends and family across the country are sending me a cheers, and I got to start at like 1 o'clock now.
Yeah, that's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it.
Yeah, I think the West Coast is all going to be alcoholics by the time this is done because of that. It's happy hour somewhere. Oh, well.
Oh my gosh, we went to buy some tequila at 10 o'clock yesterday morning. We ran into 3 people buying liquor.
Yeah.
Like, this is way before noon, guys. What are we doing?
Yeah, I was in the liquor store yesterday, and I noticed that social distancing in the liquor store just doesn't exist. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
You're buying that disinfectant. So
when you're in the liquor store, you're on a mission.
Absolutely.
There's only one mission, and that's to get home with booze.
That's true. Very true.
Yes.
But,
I've bought 2 weeks of booze 3 times this last week already.
Yeah.
That's us.
Well, that's one of the things you cannot run out of.
Well,
the hell with the toilet paper.
Absolutely. I tell you, before this, we were buying tequila in a $7.50.
Yes.
About every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
and now we're buying a $1.75 once a week.
We've doubled our consumption.
I don't know. I think that's more like triple. I don't know. Anyway.
Who needs math?
Fun. Yeah,
right.
Right.
Give or take.
Whatever.
Yeah.
But, there are problems that go along with the pandemic that, some people are saying may not be a pandemic. I think the United States has done a really great job, and so has Canada, of containing what could have been absolutely catastrophic. And I know if you lost somebody in your family, there's nothing more catastrophic. I don't want to diminish that.
Right.
But it could have been a lot worse.
Absolutely.
And, in these sort of emergency situations, there's supposed to be laws and rules that are followed. And one of them is price gouging.
Yeah,
now,
absolutely.
You can't have a gas station that can raise the price during a tornado or an ice storm, because there's a tornado or an ice storm. They can only raise it 10% in the state of Missouri.
Right.
Okay? Well, we're all trying to stay home and not go in stores, right?
Right.
And do shopping, go pick up the stuff, curbside delivery. That's what's going on here in Missouri and Springfield area. So I decided that, the curbside thing didn't really work for us at Walmart because we went to pick up at our allotted time our groceries at 5 o'clock. Because that's the time they gave us.
Okay.
And we had paid for them online, all that, And we get there, and we don't get to get our groceries to 7 o'clock. We sat in a parking spot for 2 hours. Okay? So that didn't work out so well for us. But I thought, okay, so there's a few things we buy that's not groceries. So if I just place an order, just kind of like I would on Amazon, and they just ship it to me, that would be all in well, right? Because
Right.
I get these little wax melts. I'm sort of addicted to them, you know?
Okay.
And they're $2 a packet
Okay.
in the store, okay? Online, they're $3.86.
Oh.
And you got to pay shipping.
Ah.
Now, to me, that's the same as price gouging.
Absolutely.
A little bottle of craft paint that's about $1.89 in the store is $2.79 online.
Huh.
Why is this not price gouging? And are you kidding me, Walmart? You don't have enough money?
Yeah, that's boggling. I've never compared prices online to in store, but I do know, because I just came back from there. They do have some really good deals on produce, probably because they're not selling as much, and it's going to go bad.
Right, because who wants somebody else to pick out their produce?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you're going in the store, you want to pick out your own produce. If you're having somebody else shop for you, maybe you don't buy it as much.
Right. Right.
Because you don't want somebody sending you brown salad or something, you know?
Exactly.
I don't know. But I think that shame on you, Walmart.
Well, there was a Walmart hero this week. I think it happened in Washington. Some guy tried to return $10,000 worth of toilet paper he bought, and the store manager basically told him to go piss up a rope. So
There you go.
Well, I would have told him to piss up a rope too. I agree with the store manager.
yeah, so you know,
Yeah.
I'd like to do the math on that one and see how long it will take this guy to use $10,000 worth of toilet paper.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. I mean, I don't know what he thought, you know, was going to happen.
We know what his family's getting for Christmas presents, don't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, we still have the coronavirus around, and you know, now they're starting to wonder, or starting to have indications that there might be some long-term effects.
Oh.
You know, this might change the way we roll out of this. That's kind of why I bring it up, because, you know, if you have a 1 to 2% death rate, and we're really chiming in a little higher because, you know, the deaths, they kind of keep people on the machines, and so you kind of have the deaths. We don't really know where that number is. Is that 1? Is it 10%? We heard 10%. You know, we really don't know. That's bad. It's somewhere in the vicinity of flu right now, maybe even less. Okay? And so we've always just kind of lived with the flu.
Right.
You know, even though it does have a mortality rate.
Yeah, but it spreads fast because we're not doing the social distancing thing. So it's up and over the hump in no time and done. When you flatten the curve, you lengthen the time that it's going to take to get over it.
I agree. But the one thing about the flu is, if you do not get pneumonia as a secondary issue, you don't typically have long-term effects. I mean, the flu doesn't leave you with nerve damage or, you know, if you get pneumonia, then obviously you could have scar tissue in your lungs, but they are now studying some things that they actually believe are going to be long-term effects.
Oh.
I think this is going to beg the question, too, who has really had it and who hasn't? Because I know where we live, you get tested if you need to be hospitalized. It is pretty hard to get tested here. In fact, in the United States, I believe that if you're a celebrity, politician, or a healthcare worker, you don't really have that much of a problem getting tested. Of course, we want our healthcare workers and our first responders to be tested, but I don't know how we really know who's had it. Who's had, you know, the coronavirus.
Yeah. Okay. I dealt with, like in past careers, I've dealt with a lot of big data in databases and things like that. And all it takes is for one number to be out, and the integrity of all of that data is thrown off. Now, with
Absolutely.
so many countries reporting, is Italy being truthful? Is Germany? Is China? Who knows? So
Well, we know China isn't.
you just cannot look at the stats and expect them to be accurate. And as a matter of fact, it depends on what source you look at to what is actually being, given to us for information. Nothing matches.
That's true. Well, and I tell you, we live in an area where we don't have university hospitals. So our doctors are a little bit, I don't know, they don't really have a good reason to report a lot of things
Right.
to the CDC. They're just not that motivated. Right. Now, I'm hoping that because this is what it is, a pandemic, that they would definitely report them. But if they're not able to test people, how can they report it?
I've heard that the reporting per patient, the reporting is 7 pages of paperwork for the doctor. So how many doctors are not doing the paperwork?
Well, I guarantee you that where we live, and they're employed by the hospitals, and they're a little bit underpaid around here. In fact, they're grossly underpaid here. And my guess is not so much will they do that, 7 pages of paperwork.
Right.
I know they won't do it on things like if you get food poisoning, they're supposed to do it.
Right.
In case there's an outbreak at a particular restaurant or on a particular food. They just won't do it here.
Right.
They don't really care. That also brings us to the fact, when did it really get here? Because they say that Google knew before the WHO, the World Health Organization knew. Google knew.
Doesn't surprise me.
Because people were already Googling symptoms.
Right.
Okay, so 3 bodies were found from January. They died in January. Now, I don't really understand if they found them in January or they just now found them, which is going to happen because we've had people under quarantine. If you don't see your neighbor right now, you're not really thinking much about it.
Yeah, exactly.
How many people are laying dead in their apartments or their homes?
Yeah, they were dead.
Yeah, these people were dead.
Matter.
Okay, so they decided to do an autopsy on them. And they did, in fact, die of coronavirus. That was in January. We've talked a lot about that.
Okay.
So that means it was here in January. We know that the WHO did not call it a pandemic until March 11th, 2020.
Right.
So there are problems.
Yeah, and the information coming out of the WHO for a while was like, it doesn't spread from person to person, face mask and gloves aren't going to help you, and all of this kind of backwards information.
Well, yeah, like it was a regional problem in China. It was not a regional problem in China, and, for at least the temporary, President Trump has cut off the funding, and the United States is, of course, the big cheese when it comes to funding the WHO.
Right.
We pay a lot more money than China, and China's got at least 3 times the amount of population that we do. However, the WHO was protecting China.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot of people that work for the WHO, doctors, nurses, that are in danger's way all the time. That's not the problem. The problem is the politics at the administrative level.
Right.
So we're actually considering in the United States totally cutting off money to the WHO. And President Trump can do that with the stroke of a ink pen. He does not have to go to Congress for that.
Right. We're on the other side of the border here in Canada. Trudeau is not even criticizing China. As a matter of fact, early on, he praised them for how they've handled it. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and they let us know back in My guess is November. It seems like, that this virus escaped the lab that was working on it.
Right.
It wasn't the wet market. At least that's now what they're saying. They say that at least the officials in the United States say they believe that it was an accident. I'm like going, are you kidding me? They're always trying to deplete the population a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would rush to go, oh, it was an accident, but there we go with conspiracy theories.
Right.
But we are talking about China. We are not talking about Italy or Spain or the UK or Germany. We're talking about China. China's done this stuff before. Why is it that most every crazy, virus comes out of there and it's always a COVID base? It always uses the common cold, which is a virus that we can get more than once.
Right.
Does this not worry anybody? That they always have this base virus, that one of the only things that you can't build up immunity to and you can catch over and over again. You can get, the common cold how many times in a year?
Exactly.
So using that as a base, again, has me asking, what are the long-term effects?
Right.
Is anyone going to be immune to it?
Yeah.
If you think about the common cold, the answer would be no.
Right.
Despite all this, we're thinking of opening up America in 3 phases.
Okay.
Each phase would be 2 weeks long, meaning you have to maintain a certain criteria for 2 weeks before you can move to the next phase. The first phase would be like businesses opening up and doing curbside delivery. Like you go to your favorite clothing store, you call up, you pay online, you do it over the internet, but you can drive up in front of the store and an employee can rush it out and put it in your back seat.
Okay. Huh.
Now, you can go to this phase out of the stay-at-home phase if you have new cases and deaths on a decline for at least 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay?
Makes sense.
Then, then that would be like, did I say that you would have to do face masks?
No.
You would have to wear face masks. You also, if your business does have people coming into it, you're going to have to adjust your air conditioning and heating unit to filter the air, because they do believe that you can catch the virus through filtration systems.
Oh, lovely.
Okay, so that's a biggie, if you ask me. In this 3 phase, I'm not going to go through all the details, but the 3rd phase is where we would open schools back up. So we're not even looking to do that in the fall. Possibly look at social distancing and some sporting events. However, I don't think that the NFL season will be played with fans in the seats, even though Tom Brady did sign a new contract. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
It's just, his appearance in Tampa is not going to change.
Yeah. Well, the NHL shut down right before playoffs. We'd be in the middle of playoffs right now. So I'm pretty sure that they're not going to have a championship this year.
And, you're looking at, I don't have a complete understanding about hair and nail salons. Now, in Missouri, they said you can do curbside service. And I thought, really? My hairdresser's going to come out to my car and do my hair? Oh, no, he can come out and sell me hairspray if I paid for it beforehand. Well, that's just not really how those businesses work.
Right.
They do not eat off of the amount of hairspray they sell. First of all, it's too damn high.
Yeah.
That's true.
And the hammer is very happy that my hairdresser cannot do my hair because he's too pricey.
Yeah, hair and nails, and it must be horrible for women that are used to all that stuff that all of a sudden, boom, you can't do any of it.
You know, I didn't realize gray hair was so popular with women.
You mean gray roots?
Yeah, yeah. I
Well,
mean,
guess what this chick did?
they love it, I guess, you know.
I did my own today.
Yeah.
No roots for me, that's for sure. But we all miss our hairdressers, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And our husbands don't miss it one bit,
We
paying
miss the
for it.
gym.
The gym, you know, they are going to let gyms open up, but what are they going to do about the sweat?
Yeah. Some sort of antiseptic wipes after every use, I guess. Which probably should have been happening anyways.
They're supposed to do that now.
Yeah.
I know. So,
Anyway.
not for me. Gym is what I name the local bar every New Year's, so that I can tell everybody my New Year's resolution is to go to the gym more often.
Well, stay tuned to his and hers because we got some funny little gym antics. So,
Okay, good.
Make sure and listen to that show. But you know, speaking of funny, what about Pelosi's fridge?
Yeah, I saw
Did
that.
you all see that?
Yeah.
I mean, she's got 2 fridges the size of most people's homes in San Francisco.
Exactly. Probably a $10,000
real
fridge
estate
too.
aside.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I bet it's even more than that.
Yeah. Did she show her pantry? Because that's probably full of vodka, right?
No, they didn't
she
show
showed her fridge, right?
Yeah. See?
vodka and ice cream, I guess, is her favorite.
It was Jenny Craig,
Yeah.
Haagen-Dazs or something, and Dove, and
Dove. Lots of Dove.
Yeah.
Dove ice cream bars.
I don't think Dove makes a vodka that
She
I
didn't-
know of.
And it didn't occur to her at all that people are probably going without food at this time.
No,
Yeah,
she-
I know that. I mean, the food banks have never had these kind of lines.
No wonder she doesn't want to go back to Washington when she's got that fridge full and the pantry full and looking at her $8 million home on the beach, you know. I mean, why would you want to go back to Washington and help the middle class and the normal people, you know?
Well, apparently she didn't. She called a recess.
Right.
The pay protection program that they passed didn't allow enough money. It ran out of money last Friday. Okay. She decides to try to bargain her way through allocating more money as businesses close up.
Right.
Okay. What in the hell was she thinking? I mean, you got businesses that can't wait another day. One of a good acquaintance I have online, which happens to be one of the Hammer's cousins, a doctor, she got all of her paperwork in last Friday. She really needed the loan because she has a clinic that she has several employees because they also do, they help people with Hashimoto's and different diseases. So they sell supplements and food and all sorts of things. She didn't get the money because they were out.
Oh, lovely.
And they told her that she couldn't apply again when they did get money because she had been rejected. And she was in tears because,
my God.
She's worried she won't be able to stay open.
Right.
She's still sitting on $250,000 in medical school loans.
Right.
Okay, so this was getting bad this week. Pelosi sat in front of her fridge in San Francisco. She should have never left Washington. None of the Congress people or senators should have left unless they had someone sick at home.
Right.
I mean, this is their job. Could there ever be a time that we needed them in Washington more?
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think so.
They wouldn't leave if we were at war with another nation, would they leave? No. This is a war. It's just an enemy we can't see. It's still a war. We're having to fight this. We're trying to have to take precautions and instill different laws and rules to survive. and and people are not surviving, so it is a war. And for her to let the representatives leave Washington and the senators and everybody to leave, or a lot of them to leave, I think is just irresponsible. They have one. They all take that oath to take the will of the people and enforce it, and do the laws that are voted upon. And to me, they shirk their responsibility.
Absolutely, I agree.
They definitely did. And so it got bad enough that Chuck Schumer basically put it through the Senate.
Oh,
and
good.
he said, Nancy, you will get this passed. This is not a time for politics. So as it may, they passed a $500 billion package. Pelosi will get everybody back in there and voted in by Friday, but
That's not
what
enough,
they don't
though,
understand.
they're saying
They're saying it's not enough. But these people, 10 days that she played around with us, by the time they can actually get the money, you're going to have an incredible amount of businesses that go broke.
Yeah, absolutely.
Within that 10 days. And, small businesses are dying.
Well, good
really
for Chuck.
Quickly. Yeah.
Never
Hands
thought I'd
off
say
Chuck.
that. Yeah.
I didn't either. And I never thought that he would stand up to Pelosi, but she has really gotten out of hand.
Yeah.
I think even the Democrats are rolling their eyes.
One too many.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely. But, we've done a lot of shows, a lot of writing and stories about Kim Jung Un.
Yes.
And he has had cardiac surgery and is said to be unconscious and not in very good shape.
Ooh.
Now, we knew that he had a lot of health issues. First of all, he's probably 100 pounds overweight.
And it's all cheese.
Yeah. French cheese, right?
Yeah.
Wasn't
exactly.
it French cheese? How many pounds did he eat?
I don't know, but he probably didn't shit for a week.
Oh my gosh. Well, speaking of shit, when he has met with Trump, he takes a little porta potty and carries his poop and his pee back to North Korea with him so that the CIA wouldn't test it to know how bad a health he was in. So I think that goes kind of back to what we're saying, is this guy, he smokes, he drinks, he's 100 pounds overweight, and God, he's only 30-something.
So
that's the one thing he did learn when he came to America, was all of our bad habits.
Well, he actually went to Sweden.
Yeah. He loves our bad habits.
Oh, he loves
smoking, drinking, overweight.
Yeah.
Dennis, what's
Rodman.
his name in the back? Yeah, Dennis Rodman probably taught him all those things, right?
Yes. That is his idol, Dennis Rodman.
Can you see Dennis Rodman's wedding dress on Kim Jong? That's a visual, isn't it?
You'd have to double.
I mean, he really looks better in Clinton's and Hillary's pantsuits.
Yeah, I was just going to say, he looks okay in Hillary's pantsuit. Or vice versa.
The question is, if Kim Jong-un does not come out of unconsciousness, who is going to be the successor? He does not have any children yet. At least we don't believe so. He's got a sister. There's always the generals. The generals are worse than him.
Well, he killed his brother, so it can't be him.
Yeah, that's his half-brother he did kill. But what about China? Would China finally go in and take over North Korea? I mean, they need the land for all their extra people.
Wow.
I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, I've never thought of that. That could be a scary thing.
I think they'll have a sister, Matahari. She'll just continue the reign of terror.
Yeah.
I bet she is a terror. I mean, she always just kind of walking behind him, not saying much.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
you give her a
hell,
little power.
if you do say anything, he'll kill you.
No,
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
true. He killed the other brother.
With his cannon.
Yeah.
So China's looking kind of bad with the COVID-19. Their lies are catching up with them. They had to double their numbers, right?
Right.
Double the deaths, double the amount of cases. I'm sure that double wasn't even enough.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that too.
They're still lying. The United States has launched an investigation into their lies about the coronavirus.
Right.
I don't know what they'll find out, but hopefully they'll find out something. But what I think is more interesting is that a group of senators are trying to pave the path for coronavirus sufferers and people that, families of the people that have died to be able to sue for the assets of China that are in the United States. And so
boy.
I hope that happens because,
Oh boy.
wow, I mean,
Yeah,
they murdered
wow.
more people than 9/11. We're going to have way more people dead than we lost in 9/11.
Yeah. Wow, that's going to be something to keep an eye on for sure because that occurs. Holy smoke. That's going to be some big numbers.
Yes.
Yeah, and China has a lot of assets in the United States and Canada.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Trudeau might not go for that.
Well,
But we got plenty right here in the United States.
Well, we pretty much can't sue anybody here anyway, so...
Yeah, that's true. You guys are pretty known.
Yeah. The winners of a lawsuit here get $50 and a case of beer.
Wow.
That's it.
Yeah, well, you get to choose your beer, though. That's one good thing.
Yeah, well, that's good. Yeah. I'm liking that Corona Premier because it's gluten-free and free taste.
There you go.
Yeah,
you got the Corona.
Well, yeah. I mean, during the coronavirus, I found Corona Premier.
There you go.
We got Corona everything, and as the hammer has to chase down the Oliver. Okay, so oil. Well, people in Europe were not driving in March, right? Because they were stuck at home with China's damn coronavirus.
And they already filled up their tank when the gas price dropped already. So
exactly. In April, you got the United States shut down. Well, these guys had already bought their oil for these months before, all hell broke loose.
Right.
Okay? They haven't used it. So when it comes down here to the end of April, nobody needs to buy any oil. Now, the very nature of creating oil is you buy it, you sell it, you never take possession of it.
Right.
Okay? We have always known that one day all hell could break loose, a pandemic could happen, and that oil that you own, you might have to take delivery.
Right.
Guess what? That happened. That happened the other day. And so in order to store your barrel, it costs more than the oil was worth. So at one point, oil went into the negative territory of over $34.
Yeah, and it hasn't been much better in the last 2 years here in Canada for Canadian oil. So we're pretty much used to it, but now things are coming to a dead halt.
Exactly. And maize oil did go up to $10.04 a barrel. My guess is you're not going to get in a good territory until July because we're just not using the reserves. We can't go anywhere.
Right.
And you're not using jet fuel. Air travel is down 90% in the United States.
Yeah, apparently you can get some pretty good deals if you do want to fly somewhere, if you can.
Trump warned the Saudis and Russia to keep the oil in the ground back in January.
Right.
And they didn't do it.
They didn't.
They don't. You listen to a businessman. That's just like if you go to a doctor, you listen to what he says because that's his job. One thing, whether you like Trump personally or not, his business sense is fantastic, and he has a proven track record.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it'll come back. The oil business will come back. We will travel again. We just don't know when.
Well, it looks like a lot more traffic here now. People are getting tired of being at home. They're jumping in the car and they're going for drives. So,
well,
yeah,
we're not here yet.
it'll bounce back.
Absolutely. But we hope that Bill Gates is not in charge of our vaccines.
Yeah. Wow. He is a scary person. I don't get his logic. I don't get his logic at all. Lots of collusion happening with the Trudeau Foundation and Clinton Health and the Aga Khan raises a whole bunch of questions, right down to, Trudeau still backing the WHO. And our chief health officer here in Canada is Dr. Tam, and I don't know what nationality, she's definitely Asian, but she is an executive with the WHO. So, she's just basically following orders or giving them. So a lot of this bad information that was given to us early on was out of her mouth. So,
really? Interesting.
Yeah, and a lot of money goes from Bill Gates's foundation to the WHO too. So, very sketchy, very, very sketchy. That's all I have to say.
Well, I know that I noticed on some of the propaganda that, of course, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation has given vaccines to people in every country on the planet except Canada.
Yeah, just wait.
Just weird, okay? Just weird. We don't know why, but we do know this isn't the end. We're going to be talking some more about this. He's scaring the hell out of people. His 5G, tracking people.
Well, he's so batshit crazy. Wow, that term just kind of makes more sense now, batshit crazy.
Absolutely, it does, with the coronavirus and the bats.
Well, there's a lot of people that I've spent time in the social distancing lineup at a store that said this: "Thank God for Trump." And I never thought I'd hear that in Canada. So, a lot of people have had a lot more time to go digging deeper into the WHO, Bill Gates Foundation. People have had some time to dig down a little deeper than what they thought we were just stupid to begin with.
Well, and you got to know that some of these guys go on and on like Soros for years, and they do things that are dangerous, and then they get towards the end of their life, right?
Right.
And they just go crazy, and you really got to scare you. Bill Gates is not that old, but when you look how much he's aged in the last year, you got to wonder, is he sick? And is he going to go for the big kahuna? I've never seen anybody age like that man has in the last year.
Maybe he's testing his own vaccines.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But like I said, we will be talking more about that. I know.
Yep.
Okay. And last but definitely not least.
Okay.
Dear New York Times, we freaking know that Russia interfered in the election. We know they're going to interfere in the next election. The big issue is, are they effective? I mean, did they do anything? I mean, they spent like $16,000.
Yeah.
I mean, in the scheme of things, they spent so little and did so little, it could not have mattered.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think it was hyped. I agree. It was hyped right up more than anything. So
they wrote an article about it today saying they know that they interfered. Yeah, everybody believes that. Everybody knows that. Nobody's argued that they didn't.
Yeah, we've known that for like 3 years. So yeah, good on you, New York Times. Gotta agree, they're doing some great journalism.
Yes, great investigative.
They're a little behind.
Yeah. Well, I agree there.
Yep. We don't always agree, but life's a journey, and we're all in it together. Godspeed, Connor. Godspeed to all of our friends out there, and thanks for listening. We're certainly glad to have the hammer here.
Godspeed, Grace. The Hammer. You take care. Not too much tequila tonight,
Oh no promises. But it's almost 5 o'clock here, so I'm going to have to do some catching up. I'm about an hour behind.
All right. Okay. Take care. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Bye now.